3 minutes to Derby, friends. We got the Crude Assassins all the way from Fort Mac. And from Medicine Hat, the Inferno. I don't know if it is Medicine Hat. They have a lot of friends from Calgary here. For Inferno, we have 0-0 Dodger Balls, 0-0-2 Panic, 1-1-6 Chris My Ass, 14 Bashan Bindi, 15 Everton, 24 Russian, 29, 41 Amigacha, 44 Howabunga. We have the mom and the two daughters on the track together. This is awesome. It is a family affair. Number 5, K-Slamia. 58 Smash, 68 Squirrely Dan, 681 Executioner, 814 Carnage Queen, 840 Haven. Give it up for the Medicine Hat Inferno. All the way from Fort McMurray, the Crude Assassins are bringing 0666 Satanic Panic. 11, Mad Splatter. 12, Side Dish with the crazy mustache. 21, Kaleidoscope. 286, Clancy John. 33, Mr. Jones, all the way from Vancouver. 52, Killer B. 536, Fairly Lee Bionic. 56, Charlie Horse. 604, Trish Trash. 666, Missile. 711, The Speedster. 8, Let's Get Lizkill. 87 from the Dogs, Ladybeard, and also from the Dogs, representing number 93, Dougie Drillmore. Give it up for the Fort McMurray Crude Assassins. A little Northern Alberta versus Southern Alberta action coming to you in 1 minute, 20 seconds. Shout out to our official crew, Stitch Whipper, Summer Fling, Powder Blue, Lizard Beth, Sinead O'Bronner, Nailbender, Birdie, Babe, Murderous Muffin, Snow, Pantera, Rolando Furzio, Short Fuse, Hunky Dorky, Dr. Death, and Wacky Job. Hunky Dorky, we need that little skimpy ref outfit that you had in Vancouver, please. Just noticed from the side, the Alberta College of Massage Therapy is here to help you out if you need a little bit of a massage to help you for your aches and pains from hitting the track yesterday or this morning. For the start here, Kaleidoscope, the Speedster, Dougie Drillmore, and Mr. Jones jamming for the Crude Assassins. The Inferno is represented by the All-Stars jammer, Chris My Ass, Panic, Everton, and Howabunga, who also plays for the All-Stars. Not to be missed, Russian, and here we go. Mr. Jones fights through that pack, gets through on the inside line. Dougie Drillmore trying to stop Chris My Ass, but they get through shortly behind Mr. Jones. Jones calling for the offense here. Takes lane 2, takes a hit from Howa and calls it, earning 2 points. In a Battle of Alberta, we have Ladybeard lining up against Dodger Balls. Both of these jammers play for the Glenmore Reservoir Dogs from Chinook City. The Inferno, famous for hosting the Naughty versus Nice tournament down in Medicine Hat, one of the best events in Alberta of all the year. Beardy battling that tripod, getting through on that inside line. I am not sure who got lead jam on that. It looks like
Beardo.
Beardo with the lead jam.
Dodger is very close behind.
Calling ball off the jam before any fun was had.
Best offense?
Boring.
Your best defense is a good offense.
Looks like we have Killer B lining up on the Full Mobility Chiropractic Jam line. I am doing adjustments a little bit later today if your spine got crunched on the floor or between somebody else.
Everton is on the line, or is the pivot for the Inferno, and Amy Gotcha is the jammer.
One of the family through on the inside line.
B is having a little trouble getting through the Inferno's wall. Amy with a 1-foot pass on the inside line.
This family is quite something. Everton just shutting down Killer B. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Amazing apex jump and call off here.
Calling off while sliding through the apex.
Sounds like my first game. I was calling it off on my chest. Thanks, Chemo.
Dude, I think you did that last night too.
We call that the Rockstar call off. One of the family of four there calling it off for 8 points for the Inferno. Side dish trying to push this tripod forward. Taking a shot right to the chest. Isn't enough to stop him. Rolando with the high block call on 1-2. Going to the box. It's going to be a 2-minute jam here.
Jonesy pulling their jammer back, knocks her to the inside.
Haven passes it up.
The outside.
Passes it to Case Lamia. Case Lamia kept in the track with their friends. Leaving a trail of carnage as they score points for the Inferno here. Got 50 seconds left on this jam.
Side dish is out of the pack now. No lead in this jam. Lead was lost.
Nice outside move there by Side Dish to score 4 points.
No, he didn't. He got a cut.
Another one.
Another one. If he hurries to the box.
Dougie Drillmore taking out Case Lamia. Getting recycled all the way to the back of the pack. Trying to kill this power jam.
Case Lamia on the inside of the apex.
Too quick for Dougie on that one there. The Inferno are lining up old school on the inside line. Wow, nice inside sweep from the Inferno. The jam finishes with Side Dish standing in the box. It looks like we're going to have a power start for the Inferno here. Chris Mass for the Inferno. Does not look like they got tired at all from our game versus the Dogs last night. Crude Assassins take the front of the pack. Try to stop Chris.
Chris pushed through, followed by Side Dish, who was just out of the box. Strategic call off.
Boring. Chris Mass calls it off. 0-0.
Just a little strategic call off.
I like to see the action. Give points a chance.
That's all we're saying.
Give points a chance.
Yeah.
Looks like we have Clancy versus Dodger Balls here on the Full Mobility Cairo Jam line. At the Bad Girlfriend's Kids pivot line, we have the Inferno backing up onto Crude Assassins here.
Dodger pushing through that line.
Look at that power. Dodger, cool as a cucumber.
Back up. Oh, pushed out by Bindi. At the front, Dodger fighting through the pack, and he's through with 4 points.
Dodger skating away backwards out of that
4
pack
points.
with the style.
Wait, I didn't know the Dodger could skate backwards.
I didn't know Dodger could jam.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
All right. Cover pass for the Crude Assassins. Dodger calls it off before they can make scoring pass.
Another 8 points, leading the Inferno to 24 versus the Crude Assassins 4. Ex-Team Canada Junior Everton with the star on his head versus Mr. Jones.
So Sunday morning is going to be interesting. Track 1, the NBT are going to be playing Medicine Hat. The Inferno seems pretty strong today.
Mr. Jones, that was Lee Jam,
Crude
followed
Assassins.
shortly by Everton. Charlie Horse with some nice offense there to help their jammer score 2 points. A little bit of evil representing on the Crude Assassins here. Liz Killett trying to take the inside line here, getting shut down by the Crude Assassins. Amy's also battling into this tripod. Liz Killett, one left to beat, does beat them on the inside for Lee Jam. Side dish being a menace. Recycling Amy to the back of the pack here. Ami with a little jammer on jammer action does take a shot to the chest here. Morning. Taking a look at the penalty board for Fort Mac, we do have 2 penalties for side dish. On brand for a side dish here. Zero penalties for the Inferno as of yet. And we're back to action here. Looks like Ami is okay. Mr. Jones lining up against Chris Myas on the jam line. Full contingent of 5-on-5 for both of these teams right now. Both teams deciding to squish onto that jam line. Nice offense from Howa. Get Chris Myas out for Lee Jam on the inside line there. White shutting down Mr. Jones right now. Unfortunately, Mr. Jones gets called for a back block penalty, sending Chris Myas on a power jam. Chris coming up with some speed. Needing no help to get through that pack. 4 more points for the Inferno here. Running away with the points here. Chris Myas with another 4 points. Chris Myas is looking for some help for her travels to the World Cup coming up. Has a GoFundMe up for her World Cup She is playing for Team Indigenous Roller Derby at the World Cup in Austria. Feel free to donate to the GoFundMe to help Chris get to the World Cup. With moves like that, she's going to be amazing at the World Cup. Looks like Mr. Jones is getting sent back for a forearm to the penalty box. Chris says 20 points isn't enough for me. I want some more. 24 points for Chris right now. 17 points left in this jam. Mr. Jones does stand in the box here. Everton with the crazy offense hip check here. 10 seconds. Let's see if Chris can score another 4 points. Chris comes in with speed. 1 second left. Let's see if they got it. They got 2 more for a nice even 30 points. Huge jam by Chris. Might be the biggest jam of the tournament so far. Especially in the era where it's only 4 points per pass. Great job by Chris. Dougie Drillmore pushing through the white pack here. In and through on the inside for lead jam for the Crude Assassins on a power jam. Dougie calling for the offense from his friends. Nice little scoot of the hips there outside for 4 points here. Dougie calling for the offense on the inside line, though. Does get stuffed from there. Is through for 4 more points. Skating out backwards, taking a page out of Dodger Ball's book here. Dodger's also through. Believe that is his initial pass. Dougie trying to double his team score right now. Does do it. Calls it off. Let's see how many points he got on that one. Earned 2 more points for 10 total. Great job from Dougie there, doubling his team's points to 19. Want to get in on this?
I might. A little bit. I'm going to go watch of course, the Avalanche game.
Yeah, they were asking me to do where tomorrow. Side dish with a jump on the inside line. Did not make it. Got called for a cut track penalty. Everton, with his long legs, skating around the track with a whole lot of speed. Smashing into that tripod. Spinning around for 4 points here. Everton, a few quick moves and is earning another 4 points here. Huge legs on this guy. Literally just stepped over the inside of the apex there for 4 more points. Side dish does get through on his initial. Fun fact, Everton is literally skating on 2 different skates right now. He did snap his plate in half and decided, hey, I'm just going to wear one other skate on my other foot. Doesn't matter. 2 different skates, still scores 16 points.
Did he break his skate again?
In Saskatoon.
Oh, it's still the same.
Yeah, it's like using one of the other skates. Everton needs to go visit Bad Girlfriend Skates or Nerd Skates to get helped out with that plate. They are here this weekend, both on track 1 to help you with your skate needs. Mr. Jones with lead jam here. Haven right in the mess of the Crude Assassins there. Stuck in the oil patch of that tripod right now. Looks like we have a star pass to Executioner. Ladybeard says, nope. Not enough to recycle him, though. Did not hit him out of bounds. Mr. Jones skipping out of that pack, deciding to run it, gets 4 more points. Calls off the jam before. Oh, does not call off the jam before. Inferno scoring 1 more point. I think it's on.
There's no switch. Oh. Hi, Brad.
What's up, Rice Ball?
I don't know if this is on.
Speaking of family fair, Amigacha out for lead jam. Dougie Drillmar not too far behind. Nice move to the inside line there for Gotcha to score 4 points for Inferno. Inferno, I have a request. Put all the daughters and mom together on a line. That would be amazing. Make it a family affair, please. It's on you. I heard it. Oh, really? It's good. Just gonna eat it, I think. Speaking of family affair, I have my dad beside me, Rice Ball, joining me on the announcer side.
I figured I'd drop in and say hello for a little bit.
Satanic Panic getting hit to the outside line. Chris with a smile to fatal here. Hands behind the back. A little bit of style. A lot of blockers with their hands up in the middle of the pack. Something happened. Chris doing Chris things in the back of the pack here.
I think Chris should smile more. What do you think?
Chris looking for the offense. Gets popped out and recycled here. Satanic Panic got shot out from the front of the pack there. They are out of their initial. Chris does call it off. Looks a little disappointingly at the penalty box as she sees 2 of her friends in there. The Inferno will start short. But we got Team Canada Junior and Team Canada Junior Howa and Everton to stop Dougie here.
I think Ladybeard kind of looks like Clark Kent.
The new spectacles are quite nice.
I like them.
Shout out to Ladybeard. Thanks for letting me use your skirt. Dodger balls with lead jam with 2 blockers down. Howa and Everton, an absolute menace of a duo here. Howa calling Everton over as Jones hits the pack here. Excellent duo blocking from these 2 here. Putting on a clinic in the back of the pack here. Dodger balls for his pass, got 4 points. Little high five to Jones there.
Nice jamming, Dodger.
4 points apiece for both jammers there, actually. Mr. Jones. Ten minutes, 30 seconds left in this first half. Panic and Clancy John on the Full Mobility Cairo Jam line. Sponsored by myself.
Well put.
Chris, my ass blocking. What am I seeing right now?
I don't know.
Clancy John with the lead jam. Those blue socks looking great.
I thought Clancy told me he was not going to jam this weekend.
Yeah, he told me that too, but he jammed against us yesterday too.
Yeah.
Little outside move, throws those hips over, calls it off, scoring 2 points. Earning 2 more points for the Crude Assassins, who now sit at 33 points versus the Inferno 82. About a 2-to-1 differential right now. Inferno still not putting the full family line out there, and I'm disappointed. Wow, straight up the outside line for Gotcha. Her sister Howa smashing outside dish, who happens to cut his own friends.
Side dish thought he was free and clear, but met the Howa.
Not that easy. Gotcha out for 4 points here. Deciding to hit the pack without any offense here. Gas City comes in for a little help. Looks like we got a little bit of blocker bowling here. A couple pins down, including Gotcha, who calls it from their front.
We've seen a lot of those call-offs on the ground, starfished.
Starfish call off, Rockstar call off.
And there's a starfish.
Panic showing what's up on the bench for Inferno. Looks like we have an official review from the Crude Assassins. We need an oil refinery of that call right there. I wonder what they're looking for.
Well, Brad, I'm going to have to leave you.
That's okay. It's nice to have you for the 5 seconds.
I have my leopard print on, so I'm going to go to the other track and cheer on Avalanche.
Let's go, Fernie.
Talk to you soon.
Official review in the middle of the pack here, or middle of the track. Whenever I'm sitting in the penalty box, the longer the officials talk in that circle, the more anxious I get, especially when one of the refs comes and skates over to me. It's never good news. Right, Devno?
That's right, Brad.
Looks like the refs have made a decision. Snow coming with a decision. Lots of head nods here. Thumbs up from Gas City. Does not look like they won the official review. Shout out to Bananimal, keeping our track nice and tidy. Calgary Roller Derby helping out Chinook City Roller Derby. The 2 Calgary Roller Derby leagues in town here. Thanks to the volunteers who keep this event rolling every year. Shout out to all of our sponsors as well. Speaking of our sponsors, Bad Girlfriend Skates pivot line is currently being occupied by the Crude Assassins. Gas City trying to hang out in the back there. Looking for that power jam start. Just like these two teams, Crude Assassins from the north and Inferno from the south, they are the same on the track right now. Beardy trying to stop that offense, but not enough for Haven to get lead jam here. Side dish taken in the outside on a nice move there. Trying to catch up to Haven here. calls it off before any points are scored. I will say it again. Give points a chance. Come hang out with us later for our funky inflatable shenanigans game. Should be a great time. 7 o'clock tonight on track 1 here. It looks like Mr. Jones is out for lead jam for the Crude Assassins here. Followed shortly behind by Panic. Not to panic here, but Mr. Jones just scored 4 points. Decides to run the jam instead of calling it. Thinks they have the advantage. Nice little jammer on jammer action at the front. Mr. Jones with a nice spin out there. Decides to call it off for that 8-4 split. Ran it a little bit to help their score, bringing the Crude Assassins up to 41. The Speedster for Crude Assassins versus Dodger Balls. Speedster only has 2 to beat. No more to beat now with Lee Jam for the Crude Assassins. Dodger Ball getting hit out to the outside and recycled. Penalties being called left and right here. Mostly against the Inferno. Great jam from Speedster there to earn 4 more points for Crude Assassins. Gotcha and Beardy lining up on our oil and gas themed roller derby bout for Team Alberta here. Beardy with the Clark Kent inside line lead jam here. Wow, nice move from Gotcha, standing on one skate, flipping over backwards. The crowd goes wild. Nice moves, Gotcha. Six points for the Crude Assassins, 1 point for the Inferno. Shout out to Gotcha there. Did a spin move and a flip over and a 1 foot thingy. Pulling out all their moves all in one jam there. Benny, did you teach her all that? Official timeout. They need to get their ducks in a row. Speaking of ducks, it's Ducks versus Flamingos later today for our shenanigans bout. Are we?
Scoreboard's down again on track 2.
Great.
Crazy.
Looks like we have an empty penalty box sponsored by Genuine. Absolute legend ref in Calgary here. Believe they are head reffing the World Cup here coming up in the summer. Scratch that. That penalty box is not empty. Ladybeard getting sent to the box. I believe they were the jammer. So we're going to have a power jam start here for the Inferno. Chris Mass on that jam line, ready to score some points. Let's see if she can get another 30-point jam here. Chris hitting somebody down and saying sorry as they get lead jam here. That's probably the most Canadian jam you can get out of somebody. Chris being nice and patient, waiting for that no pack call for the jammer or for the blockers to stop blocking. Again, reminder, Chris My Ass is looking for donations to help them get to Austria for Team Indigenous Roller Derby for the World Cup. Please consider donating. Unfortunately, gets called on the back block from their wifey, Short Fuse, who is also looking for sponsorship and donations for their World Cup trip because they will be also reffing at the World Cup in Austria this summer. Ladybeard out for 4 points here. Ladybeard looking for a little help here. Gets hit out by 24. 24 goes off for a penalty, though. Believe it is a failure to reform penalty. Chris is out of the box. Smashes into the tripod. Ladybeard drops the shoulder. Gets popped up by Mexicutioner there. Or sorry, Case Lamia and Mexicutioner working together. Beardy taking a deep breath after scoring that many points. Chris hot on his tail. Inferno officially making it a bucket at 1-0-1 to Crude Assassin 67. Possibly our last jam of the half here. 1 minute, 30 seconds left. We have Haven and Clancy on the jam line here. Haven through easily on the inside line. Followed shortly behind by Clancy. Only 2 blockers for the Crude Assassins right now. Haven passes one of those blockers, earning 3 points from 2 points in the box there. A nice score here by the Crude Assassins. Nice. Looks like we have our Reservoir Dog, Dodger Ball, and Side Dish coming in hot into the pack here. Dodger takes that outside line, calls it. Not before Side Dish squeaked a point in there to ruin the perfectly nice score. And that is halftime here with Inferno 108, Crude Assassins 70. Come check out the Chinook City Roller Derby $2 shirt bin. Perfect shirt for your scrimmages. We also have red streaks here looking to have some fundraising for their trip to the Junior Roller Derby World Cup. Please go check them out. If you have a toonie in your pocket, we have raffle tickets on sale for $2. Throw your raffle ticket in to win a dine and stay package at the Carriage House Inn. We also have a Callaway Park 4 general admission tickets. Fitset Ninja, Notable, and the Hangar Museum also having options to win. Welcome back, roller derby fans. We have 1 minute 30 seconds back to our oil and gas themed roller derby belt. From the north, beyond the wall, we have the Crude Assassins from Fort McMurray. Representing the deep south from Alberta, Gas City Roller Derby. Apparently, the Crude Assassins like my oil and gas pun, so I'm going to try to lean into it here. Crude Assassins starting with 2 in the box right now.
It's so good. So good.
His mom apparently just smashed that
Oh
pie
my
into his
God,
face.
so
It like
hard.
bent the pie.
Yeah, like,
Happened so fast you didn't even get a shot of it apparently.
because I had no warning. It was just like that, and then she goes, bam! Like, look at that. Bent right in half. I will be back by sit in this
What up?
sweaty hot building.
Good, how are you? Inferno with the awesome cheer. 4 seconds to a roller derby. Time to see which is better, crude oil or refined gas. Currently, the Inferno out in front with a 108 versus Crude Assassin 70. 38-point difference between these two teams. Dodger Ball lining up on the jam line against the Speedster, the Full Mobility Cairo jam line. Dodger smashing into Dougie. Dougie denying him on that inside line. We got bowling going on here in the pack. Dodger with a nice spin move. Out for lead jam. Speedster, unfortunately, sneaking a toe stop to the outfield and continuing forward, earning a cut track penalty. Dodger Ball's in his jammer era here. Gas City coming in with some offense, letting Dodger almost get through the pack here. Everton with a nice heads up to take Dougie out. Dodger getting recycled all the way back from Mr. Jones here. The Mr. Jones washing machine here. Taking him all the way back to the back of the pack. Still not enough. Jones gets, Dodger Ball gets through here for 4 more points. Speedster also out on their initial here. Out of play is called. Hands go up. Dodger putting 4 more points on the board. Dougie, looks like he took a pass, but also didn't take a pass. He said, oops, I did not have a pivot cover on. Satanic Panic and Chris Mass sharing a little embrace there. Satanic sent off the track here. Oh, that's because Speedster earned a penalty at the end of the jam there. I believe it's because they passed it to Dougie, who did not have the right cover on his head. He actually didn't have any cover on his head. Dougie, I think, is just too used to having the pivot cover on. Chris Mass on the 3rd power jam of the game for them. Holy, side dish got absolutely blasted with the back block there by Bindi. Playing old school derby. I appreciate it. Good.
Good to see ya. Hey.
Chris getting through for 4 more points for the Inferno here. Endless smile on her face. Wow, Chris doing some Scald Eagle things, switching up backwards to play some defense, blocking while jamming. Chris doing Chris things again. Side dish denying Chris a pass there. Chris says that's enough of that. Calls the jam off, earning another solitary point to bring their point differential up to 136.74, earning 13 points on that power jam. Gotcha and Satanic Panic on the jam line. Gotcha through on the outside line for lead jam here. Howa being an absolute savage there. Recycling Satanic all the way to the back of the pack. I know what that feels like, Satanic. It is not a good time. Gotcha through for 4 points here. Coming in with some speed here. Little skip across the apex there. A nice offense from Howa there to get Gotcha another 4 points. Satanic in the Satanic blender right now. Gotcha had enough of that jam, calls it off. 12 points on the board for Inferno. Gas City, I still want to see a full family jam, please. Dougie Dromore, lead jam for the Crude Assassins. First lead jam and a few jams for the North here. Taking his time, planning, assessing, takes that inside line, spins around, gets 4 points. Dougie taking a shot from Howa there. Takes a high block penalty there, blocking with the head there. Haven finally out of their initial there. Gas City trying to help out Haven here. Oh, takes a shot from Jonesy. Skaters down all over the place in this jam. Dougie, 4 points from the box. Haven in the blender back there. In the oil refinery. Dougie with the positive point differential, even though he got a penalty. Shout out to Gas City hosting the favorite event of mine of the year, the Naughty versus Nice tournament at the end of the year. The green versus red bouts are the best, funnest bouts of them all. Side dish through on the inside line for Lee Jam. Crude Assassins with their second Lee Jam in a row. Side dish getting hit up by Everton there. 5-6 with a nice counter offense too. Everton forever being a nuisance on the track here. Side dish still earning 3 points. Not before the Inferno also scored 4. Satanic Panic versus Chris my ass. We need a Panic versus Panic jam here, guys. Let's set it up. Chris one-on-one with Jones. Out for lead jam here. Bindi with a nice hit out. Recycling Panic all the way to the back as Chris comes in for their scoring pass. Case Slamia joining the family violence. I appreciate it. Ooh. 8-1-4 with the back block there. Satanic skating so hard they've lost their legs or something's on their skate. Satanic coming off the track with a bit of skate issues here. Taking a nod from Everton here with a bit of skate technicality issues. Everton lining up with Clancy here. One in the box for the Inferno. We got 17 minutes left in this half. Everton screaming out of the pack. Everton and side dish battling it out. Everton taking the dub on that one. Two different skates, don't matter. Fairly bionic on the jam line for their first jam as a jammer this whole game versus Dodger Balls. Dodger Balls in his jammer era, scoring lead jam, followed shortly by fairly closely behind them. Dodger with his classic hip spin maneuver to earn one. Oh, make that 2 points. Pam Terra had a second thought on that one. Shout out to our ref crews for helping us out all weekend. Thank you. Haven versus Mr. Jones here. Mr. Jones out for lead jam. Haven not far behind, but not quite out just yet. Dougie also being a nuisance right now. Howa says, no, do not recycle my jammer. Howa doing Howa things there. Absolutely insane defense. Nice move of Jones to do a 180 skip jump around number 69, Squirrely Dan there. Jones showing that he has a lot of tools in that toolkit. Jones also earning a Charlie horse from Howabunga, like myself yesterday against the All-Stars. Howa has a strange ability to smash your quads into oblivion. Lining up on the jam line in the battle of the game, Side Dish versus Everton here. Side Dish comes out the victor with lead jam. Everton screaming up the inside of the track. Hop, skip, and a jump over Charlie Horse here. Side Dish calling for the offense from his friends. Slips on a banana peel on turn 4 there. Who put that banana peel there? All that work for 1 point for Side Dish, bringing the point for the Crude Assassins up there for 97. Inferno 173. Gotcha. Almost threw on the inside line there with one hand down. Taking a shot from 604. 604 also hitting that banana peel in turn 1-2 there. Howa also being a nuisance against Speedster here. Unfortunately, Pam takes a tumble here, and so does Gotcha. Might need some time here. Taking a look at the penalty box here. Fort Mac, Mr. Jones with 5 penalties right now. Pretty close to that number 7 mark here. For the Inferno, Howabunga also on 5 too. Living dangerously, as per usual. Up next, following this game, we have Calgary's own Jane Deers versus Team Ontario, all the way from across the continent, coming to battle again, returning from flat track last year. Refs are having a conversation in the middle here. We'll see if anybody leaves the bench here for contact with an official. Looks like a ref is going over to the Inferno bench here. Not good news. For the Inferno. I don't see anybody leaving the bench, though. Hopefully everybody's okay. "13 minutes left in the Battle of the Oil Kings of Alberta here. Looks like everybody's okay, and nobody left the bench on Inferno or the Crude Assassins there, and we are back to roller derby. Dodger balls lining up against somebody. Looks like Killer B. First jamming for Killer B today. Dodger balls with the ace on the inside line there. Bindi doing Bindi things at the front of the pack, denying Killer B any leeway here. Bindi representing the old school, recycling Killer B from the front of the pack here. If it isn't Bindi, it's one of her daughters. It's a family affair on the track right now. Let's go. A nice pass over top of the Inferno tripod to Jonesy. Dodger balls does not want to play ball. Calls it off before Jones can score any points here. Another 8 points for the Inferno, bringing up the point differential 181 to 97, almost 2-1 here. Chris versus Liz here. Shout out to Liz for helping us volunteer yesterday, helping out on intake. Chris with a smooth ace through the pack there. apex jump for Chris for 4 points, as Liz gets out of the pack as well. Chris looks for the call from the bench, sees nothing, decides to go for it. Little hop to the inside, scores 4 more points. Tail of the tape. Chris with a couple of huge 30-point jams through with the power jams early in this game here. Inferno up to 189 now versus Crude Assassins finally with the bucket at 101. Ten minutes, 26 seconds left in this second half here. And we're back to derby action, friends. Fairly bionic. Oh my goodness, Everton try to jump 180. Does not earn lead because they no pass, no pointed. Fairly almost out. Bindi doing old school Bindi things. Getting. There's going to be a 2-minute jam here. Neither jammer earned all of their pass points on their initial. We're going to have a full 2-minute jam here. Side dish versus Everton, battling again. Nice pop out by side dish here. Everton with a smile assesses the landscape here. Nice push from Everton there to score 4 more points here. Can you get me pancakes? I'll just get it after. Everton dropping the shoulder on Dougie Drillmore there. About 10 refs blew the whistle on Dougie. Dougie got thrown on his back and earned a penalty on that one. Oh, wait. I stand corrected. Everton's going to the box for that one. Everton and side dish continuing their battle as they hang out in the genuine penalty box. Looks like we're getting an official review from White. Likely challenging that call of either a high block or blocking with the head on side dish. Just skated past me. Is that 7 side dish? Looks like side dish earned a trip to the change room with 7 points there. He's challenging the other Glenmore Reservoir Dog, Dev, for being kicked out of the game. Glenmore Reservoir Dog's doing Glenmore Reservoir Dog things today. Everton also in the sin bin here. They're having a conversation in the inside of the infield here. Somebody likely has to serve side dish's penalty here. It's usually the captain, but I believe he was the captain, so. Liz Killett is actually the captain, so she will be serving the penalty for side dish here. Seems to be a lot of conversation in the infield. Glenmore Reservoir Dogs doing Glenmore Reservoir Dog things here, being savages to each other. Unfortunately, I mean, side dish leaves the track. Up next on the same track here, once we figure out this penalty situation, we're going to have Team Ontario versus the Jane Deers. The Jane Deers are Calgary Roller Derby's B team. Calgary Roller Derby's All-Stars beat the Glenmore Reservoir Dogs last night 2-1. Took out my quad while doing it. Calgary Roller Derby All-Stars are in third place in the North America West WIFTA division right now. Currently sitting in a World Championship playoff spot. Quite amazing to be the first time for Calgary. Like I said earlier in this game, the longer the refs talk to each other, the higher my anxiety level gets on the jammer penalty chair. If I was in Everton's shoes, I'd be squirming as well. Looks like we've come to a conclusion of the captains and officials meeting. Howe is having a conversation with Everton in the box there. Let's see if he leaves or stays. Looks like he stays. Surprise, surprise, gas versus crude oil is explosive today. And after 5 minutes of conversation, we are back to roller derby. Everton is still on the track and in the box. Satanic Panic jamming for the Crude Assassins. Howe being a problem out there. A little bit of Gas City recycling at the back of the pack there for Satanic Panic. Only one left to beat. Let's cheer him on. Oh, little sister on sister violence there. Everton out of the box. Straight into lead jam. Everton showing us why he earned a 4th place at the World Cup with the juniors last year. Satanic Panic in the Hurt Locker back there against Howa and Sister. Decides to put a little savagery back on Howa there. Takes her straight down. Satanic said enough of Howa. Jones, you can deal with them. Everton calls it off. 20 points from the box for Everton. Bringing the score up to 225 to 107. We have Ladybeard on the jam line against Dodger Balls. Dodger Balls with a signature inside ace initial pass here. Charlie Horse holding this tripod strong. Looking to stuff Dodger. Dodger takes a bullet in the side there. Calls it off without gaining any points. Bindi, I still need a full family jam line here. We're getting close. We got Bindi and the girls on the track right now. Let's go. Howa, Bindi, and Gotcha keeping it a family fair for this lineup on this jam. We need the other sister in there too, please. What do I have to pay to get a full family line? Refs having another conversation. I wonder if it's about that jump that Dodger did in the air into contact. Take time right now to think about your tournament MVP. We have a huge award going out to it from Rydell Skates, a $250 gift card to put towards a brand new set of skates. Thank you, Rydell Roller Skates. This conversation keeps going on with the officials here. It's usually bad news bears for jammers when this conversation goes on longer than a minute. Pam Tara checking with the officials, the NSOs on the side there. Snow having a conversation with the captains here. I see some head nods going on. I'm trying to infer what the decision was. Everybody seems to be in agreement. I do not see anybody being sent to the box right now. Looks everything is in order now. Both jammers are on the track. The Genuine sponsored penalty box is empty, surprisingly, after 3 minutes of conversation. Gotcha trying to do the dodger balls inside ace. Jones has a different plan. Battling against both Chris and Howa together. What a savage tripod to go through, Jonesy. You can do it. Dougie trying to help out his friend here. Jones still has one to beat. Chris showing their blocking chops. Chris was telling me that they don't block, but I do not believe them anymore. Jones getting hit to the outside, recycled to the back. Looks like a missed penalty on Gotcha there. It's been a power jam the last 20 seconds. Gotcha coming in with a full head of steam here. Full gas into that pack with the one-hand back save. Gotcha takes the cover off, tries to pass it to the sister. Gotcha almost out. Only Dougie to beat. Dougie's out of play. Cannot stop. Gotcha there. Jones said, enough with that. I am okay to call it. Jones earning 1 point on that last pass. One extra point, bringing their points up to 9, bringing it to 116 to 225. Haven and Ladybeard lining up on the full mobility Cairo jam line. Shameless self-plug. Come get an adjustment later. Ladybeard out for lead jam for the Inferno, the Crude Assassins. Haven not far behind. Beardy with the apex jump in the call. Calling it off with style. It's those new spectacles, Pro. He can see into the future with those things. Two minutes, 20 seconds left in this second half of the Battle of Gas versus Crude. Speedster out with Lee Jam. Reservoir Dogs battling out with each other. Dodger Ball out as well. Dougie calling out for the offense, it looks like. I like the gusto on the call-off from Speedster there. Earning 3 points for the Inferno versus 3 points for the Crude Assassins. Matched up 3v3. Jonesy versus Chris Mayas up next for probably the last jam of this game. Let's hear a round of applause for both of these teams. Christopher Lee jam here. Reminder, Chris is looking for some GoFundMe money to help her get to Austria this summer for the World Cup. Showing Jonesy what the World Cup's gonna feel like. Chris Mayas doing a little Scald Eagle jammer on jammer, eat the baby situation.
Yeah. Go, Chris.
Chris showing what power jamming looks like here. Bindi with the old school offense. Chris looking at the time clock. Probably trying to make this game finish with a huge dub for the Inferno. Trish not going to let it happen easy, but Bindi says no thank you. Amazing finish by Chris Mayas there, bringing the Inferno up to 236. Crude Assassins 127. Gas coming out on top on crude oil here. Southern Alberta winning over Northern Alberta. Great work, both these teams. Thank you, NSOs. Thank you, refs. See you for the next game of Team Alberta versus the Jane Deers. Team Ontario versus the Jane Deers.